It's James Foster from Careers Mastery for Tech and Cybersecurity channel, and today we're zeroing in on a crucial element of your job hunt. That's your CV, but with a twist. I've scoured through my database to find some common but critical mistakes that people make with their CVs. We're not talking about the full CV here, but rather those little snippets that could make or break your chance to shine. We'll look at issues like overwriting, redundant skill lists, poor presentation and profiles that try to say too much. And I'll guide you through these pitfalls and give you some straightforward fixes to keep your CV clear, concise and impactful. Whether you're aiming for a breakthrough in tech or advancing in cybersecurity, these tips are gold. So let's dive in, and remember, if you find this useful, give us a like, subscribe for more insights and share with those who might benefit. So here we go. Hi, so let's get started, and I'm going to start with the profile from somebody's CV. Now the profile section of the CV is the bit that sits right at the top, just underneath your name and contact details, and is supposed to draw the reader in and get them interested to want to know more and therefore read on into the CV. It should be relatively concise and impactful. Now, what's wrong with this one here is it's certainly not concise. Is it impactful? It's too long to be impactful. There is too much in it to grab anybody's attention. The problem we have with this is that this person is trying to be everything. He's obviously had a long and successful career over 40 years in government military security communications. He's been involved with fintech, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, technology. It's just too much detail. What we need for a profile section is probably half a dozen lines with maybe 2 or 3 sentences that is very precise of who you are, what you do, and the value you bring to an organisation. That's all it needs to be. And this one, unfortunately, misses that by trying to be too much. So on to the next example, and this is somebody's experience section. What's wrong with this? Well, the first thing that's wrong with it, and you can't see it properly here, is that he just went straight into his experience section from his name and contact details. So it was right at the top. It was the first thing you came to. So he's really not trying to set up anything about who he is, what he does, or anything that he's achieved. He's just gone straight into what he's doing at the moment in his latest job. Here he's calling himself an enterprise account manager for a particular company where his customers are in financial, insurance, legal sector. And he then goes in to say that he deals with new logos while managing key accounts. So he's a hybrid. Now, that's all fair enough in terms of describing what he does in this particular job. What he should then do is really just go into some key achievements. He's mentioned one achievement there, which is to achieve 100% renewal rate in 22-23 through existing accounts. And then he goes on to say that he's achieved 2.7 million closed in 23. All very good. And that's really the sort of thing that I'm interested in seeing in a CV. Not the functionality of what he's done, which is really what's central here, but what he's achieved with what he's done, what he's achieved with his skills. And at the moment, all we're getting is a snippet of his achievements, which is really good, but much more manage internal relationships between TDR, CSM, PS and SEs. Who cares? I mean, really, who cares? That's the job of an account manager, isn't it? Coach 3 TDRs to, what on earth is he talking about? Who cares? Again, maybe coach 3 TDRs to promotion over 18 months in achieving blah, 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 blah. So what did he do with them? Why did they get promoted? What was the achievement? That's much better. We like that. But just coach 3 people to promotion over 18 months, it's a partial achievement. It's not going far enough. Host roundtable lunches. Fantastic. But you get my drift. It's not really impactful. It's not really getting across anything of true value. The bits of true value, 2.5 lines. That's it. And on to the next one. So This is actually taken from somebody's LinkedIn profile. It's if you print out the CV of somebody's LinkedIn profile, which you can do as a PDF, this is a bit of that, and it's his most recent job at the time that this was taken, where he is managing director of his own company, and that is in software development and project management. Now, the problem is that's all he's written about it. If it's worth putting down, then it's worth going into the right level of detail. And the right level of detail is a little bit more on exactly what it is he's offering, because he is a business person and he's offering consultancy services into certain areas. He's pointed some of that out, highly experienced within telecom industry and product development, but he's actually not telling anybody the value that he's bringing to that whatsoever. Software development and project management consultancy. What have you done as a project management consultant? What have you done as a software development consultant? You say you're focused on delivering high quality software. Well, is anybody going to say they're focused on delivering low quality software? Of course they're not. Solutions within challenging timescales. What does that mean? It doesn't mean a single thing. It's a platitude, and we're going to go on to platitudes in another example shortly as well. The problem with this is there is just no point in putting any of this down because it's not selling a thing about the guy. It doesn't mean anything whatsoever. And it's as simple as that. Here's another LinkedIn profile that's been CVized, if you like. So this has been printed out as a CV. And what I want to talk about on this particular profile is platitudes. I mentioned one earlier. So a platitude is a remarkable statement that has been used too often to be of interest or thoughtful. He masses disdain for her with platitudes about how she should believe in herself more. So, it's overused common statements that have lost their meaning through overuse. That's what a platitude is. So let's have a look at this one here. This person has many interests combined with competitive drive. Competitive drive. What does that mean? He is flexible, creative, optimistic. Yeah, they're great words, but what do they mean? What's the context? How are we supposed to identify these traits in this particular individual? Optimistic, analytical, and can socially adapt. I'm sorry, this is just the definition of platitudes. It's meaningless statements in the CV that are adding no value whatsoever. No value. If he wants to add value, then what he needs to do is he needs to go and look at what it is about any of these descriptive terms he's using that he can demonstrate in some way in some action that he's dealt with. So, for example, if he's going to talk about being analytical, demonstrate where he's analytical, give an example of how he has been analytical. And then there's putting some context behind it, and it's not just a meaningless statement made for the point of making it sound good in his CV. Platitudes then, really need to avoid them. Everything you write in your CV has got to have significance and must show some quality and value that you have delivered. This next one has got a couple of really quite interesting points, so let's have a look at it. Here we've got the description of two jobs. One of them is 3 years long and covers 2 lines. One of them is 1 year, 2 months long and covers significantly more than 2 lines, with a lot of detail and even the odd achievement thrown in the middle of it, though you'd be hard pressed to find it. This is just entirely getting across the wrong message. What he's basically saying is that his most recent project management job, he's done nothing. He spent 3 years doing nothing, but he's done nothing. It can't possibly be. He's done 3 years. He's got to have been delivering something. What's he been delivering? What values he added? What customers has he worked for? Or if it's internally, what has he delivered that has added value to his own business? There's got to have been something in 3 years, but not according to this, it isn't. If I'm looking at this, I'm going, what's this guy been doing for 3 years? And then we look below it and we're looking at the next 1 year, 2 months, and he's written loads. Managed wholesale and retail projects for profitable business teams, setting up and integrating. Okay, there's a lot too many words and there's not much actual qualitative delivery there. He's sort of talking generically about what he's done. He's talking about the general supporting existing MVNOs, etc. Doing what? So we come to the one bit of delivery in this whole section. I successfully managed to integrate and launch a new MVNO partner within 4 months. Now that's significant and I like it, but that should be front and centre of everything that he's done. He's done one MVNO partner. What's he done for the others? There must be something. It's got to be there. What is it? This is the final example that I want to give you, and actually it's quite a significant one. So many of us think that it's important to put our skills down as a list. And if I look at this and read through it, there is some quite useful stuff within it. However, the problem is that this is all mentioned elsewhere in the guy's CV as it should be. He's got lists of achievements and he's got lists that he's done, of functionality he's carried out in other jobs. And then he goes and adds a key skills list just in case we hadn't seen it somewhere else. And all of this, pretty much all of this, was mentioned elsewhere in his CV. So he's just repeated himself and there's no need for it. It pads out the CV and basically adds no value whatsoever. All of the things that he says here have merit, have validity. The problem is, in just listing them like this, he's not adding anything. It is far better to talk about what he has done with his MSP or Prince 2 accreditation. Talk about the projects that he's delivered. Am I bothered about agile and waterfall methodologies? I'm interested in the outcome of that. Now, I know that certain jobs require you to have agile and waterfall methodology, so it might be worth mentioning, so you mention it under your achievement section or you mention it in the profile under the jobs that you've done. And he did that anyway, so why bother putting it here at all? And there you have it. We've gone through 6 common but crucial CV mistakes and how to fix them. Remember, your CV is more than just a document, it's a gateway to your career success. Yet it's often the least understood aspect of job hunting. Getting your CV right isn't just about avoiding errors, it's about mastering the art of relevance, clarity, and showcasing your accomplishments. Today we've only scratched the surface. There's a lot more to learn, but keep those principles in mind and you're already ahead of the game. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like, share and subscribe for more insider tips on advancing your career in tech and cybersecurity. And if you need more personalised guidance, don't hesitate to get in touch. Your dream job might be just a well-crafted CV away. And finally, if you're interested in optimising your LinkedIn profile, then this video goes through my profile to highlight some of the things you need to think about.